Visions of heaven. Let's talk about our treasure. In Matthew 6:21, it says, "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be." So let's look at some of these scenes from heaven. Someone received a vision of heaven. And of course, with this unglorified body, we're not able to articulate exactly what it is. However, these are a shadow of things that we will see in heaven. And so, Colossians chapter 3, verse 2 tells us to set our affection on the things above rather than on the things of the earth. Look at this. I mean, heaven is 7 times brighter than the sun. So going there in this body is not possible. We do have to have a glorified body. Look at that sword. Oh my gosh. And so this is just kind of like a shadowed down or dumbed down version of what the person saw and tried to articulate with the assistance of AI. And so, have you even imagined anything like this? Have you ever had a dream about any image like this at all? In 1 Corinthians, it tells us that eye has not seen nor ear heard, nor entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for those that love him, but he has revealed them to us by his Spirit. So look at this. That looks like a ship or something, just floating. I guess everything is floating. But look how immaculate that is. That looks like a big clock, okay? These are some of the rewards, and this is not even close to the accuracy that it would be if we were in a glorified body, because look at this. This woman is on a chariot that has a port to another galaxy or world or whatever. And these beings, you see a lot of wings. You see buildings that have wings. Angels, this guy right here. It could be a woman, I don't know, but there is a being. Looks like he has a chariot with a portal too. Look at this. Have you ever imagined anything like this? I heard that oh my gosh, this is like a big blimp. Oh my gosh. The city is on top and on the bottom with no issues. Another building with wings. So have you ever imagined anything like this? And a lot of times, imagine this is your angel one fighting for you. That's amazing. So have you ever imagined this? Jesus said, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. He said many mansions. In 2 John chapter 1 verse 8 says that we need to make sure we get our full reward. So this reward things, look at this, another city with wings. Another being with wings. So the little angels we see at Walmart don't even compare. Okay? We have to, oh my gosh, look at another, oh gosh. So, listen. If this is just a shadow of how, I don't think this one is accurate, because if it's lighter than the sun 7 times, this unglorified body doesn't have the capacity to recreate such light. Oh my gosh. Oh. Look at this, y'all. So in order for us to get our reward, we gotta do what God told us to do. Some of us are not walking in our calling. Some of us are not even thinking about rewards in heaven. We're only thinking about building here. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 2 says, set your affection on the things that are above and not on the things that are below. This right here, just seeing these images should give you hope. So it should help you to refocus where your treasure is. That's where your heart will be also. It doesn't mean just sit down and do nothing. But once you give your life to Christ, you're being recorded. Imagine one of these beings here that are assigned to you to record every step, every move, every thought that you make, every action. Okay? And all of those actions, thoughts, and everything are building a building that's going to be tried by fire. That's scary. Ooh, look at this. What is that on that man, that thing's head? And so it's going to be tried by fire, right? So when your building is tried by the fire, how are you going to come out? This is very important. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 12 through 15, says that, now if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test each one's work of what sort it is. If anyone's work he has built on it endures, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. So basically, and this lines up with, the book. You should get that book by Rick Joyner, The Vision. Because one of the guys that he saw in heaven, he said that he gave his life to Christ, but he didn't do anything with it per se. And so he was in the lowest part of heaven. He wasted his life. So if you're doing that, then your foundation that you're building is built with wood, hay, and straw. How many of you know that when fire is put to wood, hay, and straw, then your work is going to be burned? But if you put fire to gold, silver, and precious stones, it may get hot, but it's not going to burn. So which category do you want to be in? It's very important. 2 John chapter 1, verse 8 tells us to make sure that we receive our full reward. So it says full reward. That's something like, look at this being. Like, what is that? Look, these are amazing. But guess what? We've got to do our parts. Imagine us coming back with Jesus on things like this to defeat in that final battle. So in 2 John chapter 1, it says, verse 7, it says, for many deceivers have gone out into the world who do not confess Jesus as coming in the flesh. This is deceiver and an antichrist. Look to yourselves that we do not lose those things we worked for, but that we may receive a full reward, because a lot of people are being deceived in these last days. And so those that endure and those that do the things that God has called them, look at this. They're going to receive a full reward. So if the Bible is talking about a full reward, then that means there's a possibility that someone is able to not receive a full reward, a partial reward, or no reward. And so it's, ooh, look at this being. Like, if something appeared to you, wouldn't you be falling out? A lot of the angels that appeared to the people in the Bible, they had to tell them, fear not. Because it's beautifully scary. All right, and so we have to work. We have to make sure we're doing what God told us to do. Now, if this is like a shadow of heaven, as far as what this person could replicate, what about hell? Okay? It hadn't even entered our thoughts of what it's really like. Like, you know how Hollywood tells us, they show us heaven. And the heaven that they show us is just like you're in a plane. The plane is above the clouds. That is so far from, oh my God, what is that? Is that the entrance to a house? So imagine hell is worse than what we think it is. Okay? So we shouldn't wish that even on our enemies. As a matter of fact, the Bible says to love our enemies. And so, again, Jesus said in Revelation 22:12, he said, behold, I come quickly. And guess what else he said? My reward is with me. So if you go through the Bible and look for rewards, that word, rewards, reward, it's going to change the way you think about this life. Because if you don't do what you're supposed to do, this is what you're going to get right here. Right here. Look how different this is from the rest of that stuff. Get your full reward.